Welcome back to the last quarter, and of course, that's when everything happens in the fourth quarter.
That's when you got to score.
We got to score, and we got to talk about a lot more things. We got to kind of hurry up. But on the debt side, a good friend of ours and a good friend of our sponsor, Melanson Funeral Home, good employee, I might add, the man who really has helped Melanson Funeral Home in the Opelousas area build the clientele that they've built. You can look where they come from. A lot of the clients there come from that Washington, LeBeau area where they were, where his part of the family was raised, the Grand Prairie area, the Plaisance area, and the north end of Opelousas where he ran a grocery store. And I'm speaking of Lloyd Ordwin Sr. And of course, when you walked into Melanson Funeral Home, you kind of expected to see him there.
He meet you at the door.
Meet you at the door. And came as a shock to me. I had heard a few days prior to his death that he had sickness, but I had no idea, and I don't think the family did either. I did get to visit with the three sons, Lloyd Jr., Tony, and Wayne, and they also were in shock in that it happened so fast. And our deepest sympathies on the loss of a real true friend for many years. And Miss Wanda Dupuy, while I didn't know Miss Wanda well, I knew her late husband, Mr. A.J. Dupuy, very well, and a large family. She, of course, was one of the outstanding teachers over at AIC, which became Opelousas Catholic, and in fact, large family. How many children?
A bunch.
6 children. Yeah. Six children. And our deepest sympathies on the Dupuy. And of course, that Jim Lopez is into this family.
That would be an aunt to Jim?
Jim's aunt. In fact, I called for Jim to see about setting up a meeting, and he was at the funeral home and answered the call. He just goes above and beyond, I'll tell you. Thanks. And then one more, and I'm speaking of Mr. Jim Guillory, and not the Jim Guillory that ran for the State Department of Education position.
And not the Jim Guillory, my brother-in-law in Grand Prairie.
Yeah, it's the Jim Guillory from the Lawtell area. Shows here Opelousas as well, always around the Lawtell area. And of course, for many years, he was associated with the Woodman of the World Life Insurance for over 30 years. Very successful, real fun person to be around. And I said, I see in the paper here, in the obituary, that the family wanted to give certain thanks to certain people. And one of them is my cardiologist, Dr. John Mickey, and his nurse, Lisa Payton. I never knew Lisa's last name. Maybe I'll think of Sean Payton and pick at it when I go in for my, I have to have my annual checkup this month, a little later in the month. I have it on my calendar. By the way, I'm using the calendar.
On your iPhone?
On my iPhone. It works real nice.
Then when we get you an iPad, then you better synchronize them so your calendar will update on both automatically. We need to get you upgraded.
No kidding. All of that can work like that? Oh, Lordy. Anyhow, our deepest sympathies on the recent death of Mr. Jim Guillory, a longtime friend.
Quarters Casino, go by right there just north of Opelousas off exit 23. They've got El Pico de Gallo's Mexican restaurant and cantina inside, open 11 a.m. till 10 p.m. Monday through Sunday with great homemade style Mexican food and margaritas. And next door they've got the great Chevron with all the good fuels from diesel all the way to gasoline, well lit pumps, well covered with a huge canopy so you don't have to get wet even if it's raining, and good concrete where your feet don't have to get dirty. Go inside the convenience store, huge convenience store with gift ideas and crispy crunchy fried chicken. Good morning, Mr. Pat Willis over there.
Mr. Emma Hagg, owner of Bailey's Seafood and Grill. Every year he has a day, is it around Christmas or Thanksgiving? Maybe it's Thanksgiving, where he invites the homeless people to come in and get a free meal. I've never met him. I've been to Bailey's a couple of times years ago. I need to go by and personally thank him for what I've always admired him for taking off a big business day to give food away. Right. He's opening up Bailey's Bistro on Johnston Street. So he's opening his second. I hope he has as much success as he's had in his restaurant that he's had for years.
Very good.
A lot of discussion about the Social Security and not the deal it once was. Well, Social Security is still a pretty good deal. I've paid into it. I collect mine. I could be one of them that could do without it, but it's automatically, they contact you when it's time for you, when you're eligible.
You'll never draw out as much as you paid in.
I don't think so. Yeah. They're talking, I mean, people they interviewed in the paper.
I'm assuming you'll stop short of about 140, 150. Huh? You're not going to go that high.
No, I won't live that long.
So that's, yeah. I think you paid in a lot longer than you'll draw out.
It looks like I used to pay when I was getting salaries from more than one company. I think they were taking it out of each company, but I'm not sure about that. I need to check with Jim Nicholson, my CPA.
There's a max that you can pay per year. You hit a magic number, and there's a max. They'll cut you off then. You might have overpaid into it, but when you do your taxes at the end of the year, that all works out. They figure that out.
Anyhow, and then of course it covers you. Like if you get disabled and all of that, a lot of the pensions, they talk about like going over to different pensions, like with the state and all of that. They better be careful because they're kind of talking about not having some of those good benefits that occur that are unexpected.
Then they'll have to go on to Social Security.
Prior to your retirement. It's not just a retirement plan. It also has a great benefit for the children. Also,
if the parent dies before the child is 18,
that's
the child is taken care of. So that's a very good thing.
Solar power credits affect those without. I don't think they realize just how big this would be, how much that would be used, that credit on the solar power. And I'm talking about in Louisiana. You can get one of these systems installed at your place of business or your home and come out with just about, if you pay an income tax, in other words, now you have to be a taxpayer to really benefit here, but if you're a taxpayer, you can practically get the whole thing paid for, and then each month the electricity that you generate is credited to you from your utility company. So it's affecting both the
tax base, the income,
everybody's paying for it. So it's another one of those freebies, but it's something.
It's raining right now as we speak.
It's raining outside. Oh, that's hard.
But that solar power is it's a good idea, except for one thing: the money don't work. That's the problem with it. It's a great idea.
It's going to have to keep having. It's kind of like ethanol years ago, and still, I guess there's some credits that they get for using ethanol.
But if there wasn't a subsidy,
the farmers get that benefit.
If it wasn't a subsidy, it wouldn't work, and that's the. You can only do subsidizing for so long.
Sales tax revenue continues upward trend.
That's a good sign.
For the 19th straight month. That's in St. Landry Parish here. Very good news. Well, the consul is still investigating. The parish council is still investigating the past president.
They've been meeting in front of judges, I saw in the paper and everything.
Yeah, they haven't. I think maybe Miss West had to
recuse
herself because she's
representing both sides.
Both sides, and you kind of hard to play both sides, and I'm sure she's not trying to play out of, that's a bad word, but be on both sides. And I see we're having a boxing commission meeting, and you know, I'm having lunch. I wonder what's on those guys' mind. I had Bo Williford from Lafayette with the Cajun Boxing Amateur Boxing Club, and my longtime friend and a former employee at Swallows Dinner Club. We're going to be having lunch at Swallows close today, Wednesday at noon. They're driving in from Lafayette, and they must have some big deal they want to talk to me about.
Let me tell you about this. When you're talking to Bo, you can talk to him about it. What happened to U.S. boxing?
Ooh.
There's nothing left.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
There's nothing left in our Olympics. The one guy from the U.S. that maybe had a chance to win a medal, they beat him, and then they reversed the decision. So he got to fight another fight. I'm not sure if he's still in or out, but it's shocking to me that the U.S. may go to be the first Olympics in history they'll come out with no medals. None.
In boxing.
In boxing. Never has happened.
We have in our monthly boxing commission meeting Thursday in Baton Rouge. Times-Picayune, they had a layoff, and it affected quite several hundred of people, because that's a large newspaper in New Orleans. They've gone to just 3 days of publishing. It looks like some are going to be rehired in sales and the editors on the street. The writers on the street, not the editors, the writers on the street. They're going to be spending a lot of their efforts going towards the internet sale of news. Sure. And we're going to be getting more and more of that as time goes on. So it'd be interesting. And then, of course,
the Manship family with the Advocate, they're trying to move into New Orleans as well.
Move into New Orleans, and Mr. Benson with the Saints and the Hornets.
He's off at the bar at the Times.
He's off at the bar at the Times-Picayune.
And you know, he's got experience in it. He's got a TV station down there already, so he's got some experience in media. And
I'd like to see if the Advocate goes there. I sure hope they give us that New Orleans news. I love the Times-Picayune. Yeah. In fact, Sunday, while we were at Barnes & Noble, they actually, for those of you who live in the Lafayette area and you'd like to read the Times-Picayune on Sundays, it's a beautiful newspaper, and it kind of summarizes a lot of things that are happening during the week. It's sold at Barnes & Noble. I bought one for myself while I was there. I love that newspaper. And what about this right here, Miss Estelle Perrault, our friend? We didn't talk about that.
We haven't talked about her in a while, but they've been doing some things about, you know, the Genealogical Society. They've got a lot of CDs of all the different information. If you want to look up your ancestors' information, you can go to the computer. Instead of digging through a lot of books and try to find it here and find it there, you go to that computer and type in a couple of names. That thing will pop up with all sorts of good information for you. So they're working on indexing all the information they have at the library here. If you can, go by when they have their monthly meetings. We'll announce next time they have a meeting. But thank you, Mrs. Stell, for all your hard work. And the 1940 census is now indexed and on the internet, the U.S. Census. And if you type in, let's see, if you type in Dupree, you probably will find Cornelius and Jeanette, and you'll probably find Cody and John, and you'll probably find 3-year-old Bobby Dupree in that census record if you go digging. I don't know if that the census was done exactly on, it's the 40 census, so I don't know what year. It might have been 35 or 38 or whatever, but 3-year-old Bobby Dupree is in that census record. So just to give you an idea, you can find out more information about your family with the genealogy research.
Cattlemen's Association's magazine, which is published, I'm not sure if it's every month, but periodically I'm a member, have been a member. There was some articles about local people promoting products. Earl Lemoyne, who is the owner of the Lone Wolf Land Company in Moorville, Louisiana, was one of them. Advertising for Marshall and Jackson, and that's #1 ryegrass. Right. And then Mr. Paul Lemoyne from Plocherville, he was advertising Nelson ryegrass. So very successful farmers.
Got to get it.
20 seconds.
Let's go, let's go.
I don't even have my...
well, we can just tell everybody.
No.
You find it. You better get it.
You mean I didn't get my book out?
It don't look like it.
Nope, I didn't get my book out. But every week we like to close the program asking you to please consider attending the church of your choice. And we also usually read a little small thought. And the thought is just remember Jesus in your daily activities. Thanks for viewing. Thanks for listening. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.